So Anthony Albanese has been evacuated from the Woke House. I mean, Parliament House, his lodge. He had to be evacuated last night due to a bomb threat. Let's check this out and see what's going on in this video.
Around 6 p.m. last night, this bomb threat was made against the Prime Minister's official residence here in Canberra. The Prime Minister was taken to that location and the Australian Federal Police arrived here to the lodge and began searching the property for any devices. After a 3-hour search through the grounds, nothing was located and the all clear was given. The Prime Minister was free to return, and police say that the community and the Prime Minister are now safe and there is no ongoing threat. Though this will concern Anthony Albanese, he's been warning, as has the boss of ASIO and the AFP, that Australians need to turn down the debate at the moment. The heat in the political temperature is too high.
So he's saying we need to turn the temperature down.
Turn down the temperature.
Well, Anthony Albanese, you need to turn the temperature down. I don't condone what's happened. Some idiot's gone out there and said there's a bomb in Parliament House. It's so stupid to say. I don't condone that type of behaviour or that radicalness at all. But you need to turn the temperature down in this country, dividing Australians, trying to bring out laws to silence Australians and not putting Australians first. All this is creating this divide and this hatred. And you know, you've always been at these protests supporting Palestine.
Israel has been to meet children throwing rocks with helicopter gunships, with tanks and with missiles.
And now you've let these radicals go on for 2 years, more than 2 years, 2.5 years, creating this division, involving us in wars overseas, not putting Australians first, worrying about foreign affairs and getting us involved in that crap. And not turning the temperature down on them is really what's heating up the country. Because you allow these radicals to go out there every single weekend and destroy our cities and mass import people that don't want to be Australian and then tell Australians to shut up and don't worry about it, don't even address the issues, too scared to say radical Islam. And then Australians are just yelling, saying, we're dying here, cost of living, no housing, everything. We need help. But then you tell Australians to be quiet, and if you speak up and try to support your country, you're racist. That's pretty much in a nutshell what the Australian government does to the Australian people. So let's see what Pauline Hanson had to say about this. Let's see what she had to say about Anthony Albanese getting a bomb threat. This is apparently the most radical party in Australia, the radical right wing. How radical was Pauline? Was she cheering this bomb threat on? Let's see what she had to say.
Had to be evacuated from the lodge last night. I'd say that's because there must have been a threat against his life. I feel for the Prime Minister and his family to have to go through that. It's not a nice feeling. I know, because I've been there myself. Especially in 97, 98, I had threats against my life. And I had federal police protection with me 24/7 for 18 months. My children had to be evacuated from school one time because of threat against them. So my children have had to go through it as well.
Wow, being sympathetic and reaching out to Anthony Albanese. This is the extreme right he wants to lock up in jail.
You know, I sort of think this is Australia. It's not the Middle East. What have we come to?
Yep.
You know, politicians are there for the right reasons. We may not like their policies. You may not like mine. You may not like the Prime Minister's and the way the country's headed. But you don't do it with violence, not against members of Parliament. Our job is to speak freely and honestly, you know, on issues that are important to the Australian people. I understand your frustration. It's not just about politics. It's a lot to do with even the family law courts. People don't feel they're being heard, listened to, the cost of living, job security, owning your own home, all these issues. I know, I get it, I understand what you're saying. But violence is not the way to go. All I'd say is let's work towards, you know, a country that we feel safe in. And let's get members of Parliament that are prepared to speak up and represent you. But you do that at the ballot box. Yep. Not with threats.
So that was a great video by Pauline Hanson. She's just going out there, you know, saying we need to do it the right way. We need to use our voice and we need to vote in One Nation and people like her that support Australian values and put Australians first. Unfortunately, Anthony Albanese has been going out there, creating this divide, allowing these radical protests that have nothing to do with Australia, inviting so many different cultures in that don't respect Australian culture. So the temperature's getting turned up, and he just tells people, just turn it down. Just be quiet. Don't speak about it. But this is what's going to result in ignoring the Australian people, trying to silence their speech. Like, we're at a point now where we really need to speak up as Australians to get our way and vote in One Nation or any other party that supports Australia like them, which I believe they're the only one at the moment. So we need to vote them in the correct way. But they're trying to now go and investigate her, arrest Pauline Hanson, stop her, and then also silence Australian speech. Speech like this channel. They could very soon try to bring out more laws to silence us. So we need to keep speaking up to not have that happen. Because Australians, our speech is what makes us free. And if Albo thinks silencing people's speech is going to turn the temperature down, that's when people start acting out when they cannot be listened to. So we don't want to see that happen in our country. You can see it happening all over Europe, UK, massive protests, fights, riots in America. So we need to keep it, calm and do it the right way and call out these idiots, because they're not hard to call out, these, Labor and Liberal politicians absolutely backstabbing the Australian people. It's not hard. Like, look at this. This is the Liberal opposition in Victoria. You know what's happened in Victoria? We had billions of dollars worth of fraud. Everything's going crazy. But this is the opposition to Labor. What she's saying about free speech. And why you cannot vote for the Liberal Party either, because this is what she says about free speech.
My weekend with various Chinese communities, I note that many of them were here today celebrating Chinese New Year. And this is alongside the Australian Indian community, all of the different multicultural communities that make our state so great. These are groups that make our state stronger. And I spend an enormous amount of time talking to them, understanding the issues that they care about, and ensuring that they feel heard and protected in this state. When we saw the shocking incident at the end of last year with the Bondi massacre, we as a nation had to talk about the fact that we don't have strong enough laws when it comes to hate speech.
Yes.
We don't have strong enough protections when it comes to minorities in this state. And I was proud to stand up and put forward a plan to combat hate and to combat the very type of hate speech that makes it harder for these communities to live in this state.
So she wants to bring in more speech laws to silence normal Australians. She's saying minorities are affected by Bondi Beach. It affected fucking everyone, Australians. You don't need to silence everyone's speech saying it's under hate speech to silence Australians. Call out what it was. It was radical Islam. A radical Islam extremist that Albo led into the country, let their family in the country, allows this shit to fester, allows these groups to go together every weekend. But they can't call out these people at all. They just say the radical far right. You just seen how radical the far right leader is apparently in Australia, giving her sympathy to Albanese. Yet, the Liberal Party's opposition in the state that's affected the most by a lot of this shit at the moment is saying we need stronger speech laws. That's why I wanted to put them forward, to protect minorities. What about fucking Australians? Speak up for everyone. There's no minorities in Australia anymore. They've imported that many people, so don't start that shit either, acting like poor them. They have whole communities here. We're all one apparently, but now you want to divide us. Great, that minority needs this special protection. That one needs this special protection because a radical Islamic extremist shot up a beach. That has nothing to do with normal Australian speech. So I really don't get it. I don't understand what these government people think. Silencing people, bring out task force to silence more people. How it's going to help normal Australians. Like, look at what we're having to do in Australia now. Look at this new task force they're having to bring out to protect Australians because they're letting in so many radicals.
A brand new police squad of 250 officers will respond to and prevent Sydney hate crimes in a major response to the Bondi terror attack. The state government today announcing an Australia First unit with 28 civilian specialists, a superintendent and a fleet of purpose-built vehicles. Officers will be heavily armed with high-powered rifles, tasked specifically with responding to hate crimes. A brand new...
So now they want to bring out these new laws, hate crime laws, They won't address radical Islam that did the shooting, make up like a whole task force with snipers and all this shit to be on our streets to protect us, but they won't arrest these people and get these radicals out of our country. Like, how stupid is this country getting? How many did they have?
A police squad of 250 officers will respond to and prevent Sydney hate crimes in a...
250 officers. This is just getting out of control. That the government thinks that much hate crimes in the country that we need to make a whole new task force for it. What has happened to this country? Why do they not address the real issues? And if people are coming here that are creating this divide and don't want to assimilate, because we've never had this before. So you can't say it just came out of the blue. They need to address it and crack down on it. And now they're trying to bring out members of the community that can start reporting hate crimes for them to get them arrested. Look at this.
These MACLOs, which we have 30 at the moment, will be doubling our capacity across New South Wales, a critically important part of policing. They are not sworn officers, but they are community members who are deeply embedded in their migrant community. They are already part of their multicultural community, and we employ them to assist police to know what's going on in the ground, to be that conduit between police and that multicultural community.
So now multiculturalism, diversity is such a strength that we probably have people with pink hair reporting everyone saying they did hate speech, they discriminated, arrest them, arrest them, arrest them. Like, do we really need all these people in our community reporting hate crimes for speech that they don't like? Like, do you think they're going out there saying, there's an Islamic extremist planning an attack? I don't think that's what they're doing. I don't think that's what they're doing at all. They're saying, that person said something I disagree with, arrest them. That the fuck is what's happening in Australia. That's what I see is going on. I can see it building. They're still using Bondi Beach without addressing the real issues, blaming normal Australians in their speech, trying to silence them. And now you can see all the opposition doing it as well. It's just snowballing over and over again. So, it's so much is going on in this country. Make sure you keep following this channel. We're nearly at 25,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. Join to be a member if you want to keep supporting my message, what real Australians think, and we're going to call out this corrupt government using tragedies to pass their laws. We can't have that anymore. We can't have them to keep doing this. So thank you for supporting the channel. We're going to keep speaking up. Comment down below what you think about all this. So much is going on. There's just so much going on. Make sure you join the live streams. It means a lot to me. We react together. I get to see your opinion. It's really good to just all join together and speak up. So I normally do them at night time around 7, 8 o'clock. So make sure you join on the live streams. But I'll see you in the next video. And just keep speaking up for Australia. Keep sharing these videos and we'll get our message out there that normal Australians had enough. And we're not going to be silenced by all these new laws, these new task force, these new community members in multicultural communities that report people. Like, what is going on?